Hi guys, hello traders, welcome to another weekly market outlook. I'm going to give you more analysis of some more high probability charts, some more high probability setups. Let's see what this week brings for us with September now in the calendar. So my name is Dima and hope you guys had a good week last week and managed your risk as always, of course. Let's have a look at what we've got this week. Another list of charts, some more options. It's a little bit clearer this week. We've got some more interesting price action, a bit more clarity in the candles in the market, and now we can really see what's going on as we head into September, where many people back from holiday and volatility can come back into the market, a little bit more clarity. Right, without further ado, let's begin with the calendar. As always, let's see what we've got for us this week. Right, here's the calendar for the week. We're going to start with the 4th is Monday. Nothing there to really pay attention to. On September the 5th, Tuesday, we've got S&P PMI survey here, and that could be one to watch for. The next day on the 6th, that's a Wednesday, we've got some data from Australia. We've got news on the pound, trade balance on the CAD, again on the dollar and the CAD rate decision there from the Bank of Canada. So that will be a very big one to watch for. And then on the 7th, Thursday, initial jobless claims on the dollar, again CAD news. Seems to be CAD heavy this week, so gonna keep that in mind. And then on the 8th, on Friday, we've got another CAD news, participation rate, unemployment rate. So as you can see, CAD, dollar, a bit of pound, and from Australia there, so perhaps Aussie dollar. So that's the outlook on the calendar. So we're going to keep that in mind and see how we can join that with the charts, look at the technical analysis and what we've got going on. So let's begin. As always, I'm going to start with the dollar because that gives us the overall outlook, the dollar basket. And what do we see on the dollar? These are the charts, by the way, that we've got for this week. So I will be going through these. Start with the dollar, bearishness on euro, bearishness New Zealand dollar, and then the rest are bullish. So dollar CAD, dollar yen, euro pound, pound yen, pound New Zealand, and oil are the ones that I have chosen for this week. So this is going to be a short list. This is what I'm going to keep track of for the whole week. As always, you've got your outlook on Sunday. I'm going to give you another update on Tuesday and then another one on Thursday to end the week. Starting now with the dollar, as you can see, we're going to look at the monthly candles as well because we do have a new month, NFPs behind us. So hopefully, let's see whether we get a little bit more clarity and the price action is in our favor. So what we have here, bullish, 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 very clear to see. We did mark out this target initially last week, which is we're still reaching for, and then the next target up here. The one after that would be quite clearly the next one up. That's a little bit of a way away from where we are now. So we hit the low of last week, created this large wick candle to the downside, and we were in this range, and it looks like now we have a new swing in the market. So what does that tell us? Well, further bullishness into the next level. So that's bullishness on the dollar. Let's have a look at the currencies then. This was the outlook last week. We didn't quite have that. We broke higher and we have broken structures, but then we broke back down below. Now, this did look bullish for a while and then it reversed. What do we have now? Well, because we did reverse, created this new swing, we didn't break above this high, and then we actually broke below a previous low, if you can see down here. Similar thing to the dollar, where we have this range, and now we did not hold this level, but we looked at before. So now that we broke down, we're looking for further price action coming down. Let's have a look on the larger picture on the monthly. As you can see here, monthly candle closed bearish, and now looks we're heading to the downside. Failed, closed below, heading below the previous month's low. On the weekly, big engulfing pin bar, which indicates bearishness, weakness. And then we're heading further to the downside. Now, here's that next target, the next one down, and the next one down here. Let's now go to daily. We can now get rid of these. So let's have a look at the next idea. And this is the same as what we marked last week. So I was looking last week for that break. It didn't happen. And now looks like we are having it. So that is still the same idea. We're going to follow the market. Maybe it didn't give it to us last week, but we are going to follow along with it this week. This high now becomes the new swing. And this becomes a zone of entry. So we haven't quite broken below this low. That will be this significant break. So that will be this safer entry to go break below, create a retracement like so, and then continue to the downside. However, this is also a possible entry. So from up here, if there's a reversal pattern, then down we go with the bullishness of the dollar. So that's the outlook on euro. The probabilities are showing that since we have a break back down below, we did not hold these lows, we are still weaker, even though we did break these highs. We haven't held it, came down below, and as you can see on the weekly chart, showing that pin bar. So the weakness continues on the euro. And it seems like it just wanted to take that previous high here. So let's carry on. The next one on the list we have is New Zealand dollar. And New Zealand dollar is a similar picture. Quick look on the monthly, weakness on the monthly, continue lower, and we may be heading into this low here. So that's the profit target idea for the New Zealand dollar. Let's go to the weekly. Is that low we've got, and we may come down to these lows. That will be the next low, and then the next low. As you can see, looking to the left, looking for possible targets, we have these lows of these candles, and this is the weakness. As we can see, we had, again, similar to the euro, hit the high of last week, rejected. We have this wick to the upside, which shows rejection, shows weakness, despite it closing bullish. Looking down on the daily, the daily was weak, and we had held this area, did not close above this swing high, and now possibly heading lower. Quick look on the 4-hour, is that rejection. So from here, it looks like we have these lows, and then after that, retracement, and then down to the next lows from there. So that's the idea on the New Zealand dollar. Continued weakness. It does look like we are in this range. However, this may be a swing on daily. So that's what it looks like so far. You can see these wicks and this big pin bar candle closing weak. So I would look for more weakness in the market down to lows. And I don't know if we'll get as far as here. We'll see. Don't know. The market can do whatever it wants. But for now, this is where the probabilities lie. Okay. So that's the New Zealand dollar. Let's move on to the next one. And if you guys like this video, hit the like button, share if you have any comments or you want to share your own charts, then feel free to do that. Okay, next one on the list, dollar CAD. Once again, I'm going to have a look on the monthly as it's a new month. And here we are. We have our new month. Previous month was bullish. And now we are heading, looks like, to these highs. And we do have lots of highs up here to look for. So I don't know where the possible slowdown or resistances in the market will come in, but it's still bullish. Looking on the weekly, again, we left this Let's take this away for a second. Left these wicks to the downside, took the low of last week, and now we ended up neutral to bullish. And it seems that this brief pause was just a pause, and now heading into the next highs. So still clearly bullish, no sign of real reversal here. Daily, here we go. That was the NFP day, NFP candle, and as you can see, big bullish engulfing candle, engulfed 1-2 previous days, closed very bullish indeed. Down to the 4-hour. So here we are. This is what we anticipated, and this is indeed what's happened. This low here now becomes the invalidation point. So this is our reference point. We don't want to see the market breaking below this low, because if it does, then it breaks this whole idea. Now this is no longer necessary, and let's drop our zone here. So we would have a decent entry point to look for over here. Now we've got this impulse move, broke these highs, so a nice better price, a good better price heading higher into the highs will be the favored scenario. So it does seem more bullish at the moment, and we're going to continue with that. And this low will be the invalidation, clearly seen by this swing, and this is the NFP Friday. And that's where the volatility kicked in, and it seems that we have a bit more clarity on the direction, continuing on the direction upwards and jumping on that trend. That's the daily picture again. We do have a few targets up here. I don't know how high we're going to reach, but conservatively we're looking at these highs here. Let's go to the next one. Right, next one on the list is dollar yen. So as I said last week, because we are heavily weighted on the dollar, we don't want to be trading everything on all the dollar pairs, because that's taking on too much risk. And if we're wrong and the dollar does reverse, it goes the opposite way and it drops, then you are now really exposed, and it's a risk to take. Because if you're taking all the trades on the bullishness of the dollar, then if the dollar goes weak and ends up bearish, then all those will turn into losses. So keep that in mind as well. You never know. It doesn't mean that we're right about the market. It's just a game of probabilities. We can only manage our risk. Okay, looking back on the dollar yen, is the previous month closed bullish. Now we're continuing higher with that bullishness. We do have these levels up here. We do have the target up here we're looking for. We haven't quite reached for that target. And look down to the weekly. Here was that target. Here was that significant level. So let's just remove these so that we don't get confused. We do have these levels to the left, continuing bullish. Here's last week. As you can see, closed neutral, however, hit the low of the day, tapped the low, and moved higher still. No sign of reversal, so just continuing on the bullish idea. Let's go to the daily. Here's that NFP day, hit the low, bang, reversed, and we have a clear pin bar, bullish daily candle. And now it looks like we are heading above this reference high. Let's go into 4-hour. Here was that reference. We haven't quite gone above it. Now the idea for today will be similar to dollar CAD. Here's a level reference. We don't need this anymore. We don't need this anymore. This now becomes our reference point. So a move lower than this would be an invalidation. So here's our zone of reference that I'd be interested in. So what I would like to see is a clear break of this high, and then a retracement, a better price, getting a better price, continuing to the upside. So that's scenario number 1. And scenario number 2 would be a clear break and a retracement, pullback, and then continuing to the upside. So that's the other possible idea. And then if that's the case, then we have this level over here, to watch out for. So that's what I'm going to be monitoring for this week, and that's the dollar yen. We still have a little bit of weakness in the yen as well, so that kind of matches up with the dollar yen chart. Okay, so that's the scenario on dollar yen. We've got this low as a reference point, and this may be the possible swing to continue going higher. Okay, let's next go to our next idea. Here is euro pound. Now the euro pound is one that we did look at last week, and it was still uncertain. It was still not giving us what we were looking for. So then we're going to look for this week to continue on that idea. So let's have a look on the monthly once again. What do we see on the monthly? Let's remove this for a second. We do see a lot of indecision here. It is weak overall because of these weaknesses in the candles. You can see it closed bearish. However, we do have both of these wicks to upside and the bottom side, which indicates that this is slowing down. We are at a moment of uncertainty, and whether we have a reversal or not, I do not know, or at least we don't have one yet. What does that mean? Well, that means it's in the short term we're still bearish. However, we may see some sign of bullishness if we see a reversal. Now, the reversal has not come in yet because we don't have any confirmation. So there is a pin bar here, big bullish candle, and there was a little small one here. However, we don't have any reversal, no clear impulsive move higher, as you can see. This is what I drew out last time to come into these lows and create a reversal, and we are just about reaching into that price point. Now, I marked this as a possible anchor point, but we'll only know that until we have, if and when we have this reversal idea, this market doing a swing right here, like so. We have broken this highs, and keeping in mind the weekly picture that we are still indecisive and still in this big kind of range. I can draw it out for you here. It's a big range here. So still a little bit uncertain, and what I would like to see is this zone. Now that we've gone through this one, that's invalid. We've broken through this high, and then we have this idea. Let's just delete that. So this would be the idea, this would be the point of reference, and if we break below this, this is the invalidation. So the question mark is, are we going to hold this level? Now, if we do get a reversal and clear price action, and another clear impulsive move higher, that would be a possibility. And if we're not, and we break below this here, then we invalidate. Let's just make it a little bit more precise. There it is, that low, and we validate it. Then we will have to go back to the bigger picture, possibly on the monthly, and reassess what we have from there, whether we will get a reversal or not, or we head down lower still towards this level down here, which is this low. So let's see whether we get a reversal over here, or whether we head lower and then get a reversal later, but that could be until the following week and not this week. So I'll be watching out for that, and I will see whether that actually, what happens, how it happens, if it happens, and we'll just have to wait, because right now it's still uncertain. As you can see, we broke the last week candle here, but we didn't close above it. So I don't know whether this is a continuation, a brief pause or pullback, or we are heading lower. Right, as always, you want certainty. There is no certainty in the market, but you want high probabilities. And so far in this chart in the euro pound, we don't have a very, very high probability scenario. We just have an if and maybe, and the scenarios we're going to watch for. So let's keep an eye on this one. That's euro pound. Let's go to pound yen, GJ. Again, monthly. Previous month closed bullish. We're going to look for the continued bullishness. What's the continuation? Well, we have this high that we've reached. So the next high would be up here. That will be our reference point. And we will have a low. This will be the previous month's low. And we look for bullishness. Let's look on the weekly. That's what we see on the weekly. As you can see, another move higher, higher, higher. And we had this candle which engulfed, which paused. However, we are in a bullish trend. So let's have a look at the daily, see if we've got any more clarity. What's interesting is we do have this level that we're holding at the moment. And what I would look for is whether we actually break and hold this level and then continue higher. So far, we don't have any clarity. Now, what would that have to be like? Well, you can draw a fib here. You can see that this is the halfway level. So really, ideally, in order to make this high probability and a good risk to reward, a good entry, you want to get the best price as always. So if we are buying, we want to get best possible, cheapest possible price, and that is as low as possible, and therefore it would be over here. So the idea on this one would be to go lower, create some kind of reversal, and continue higher into this next level. Here's that invalidation point. So a break below this would be invalidate the idea if we head lower. And then we may see something like this, but that is not yet happening. So we'll see what happens if we reach this level and if we get the reversal, and that'll be the nice, decent trade there to look at. It may also be that if it has a very impulsive move higher, then another swing here, coming back to a cheaper price, breaking higher, pulling back and continuing, excuse me, to the upside. That is what we are looking at here. So this is the low that I'm referencing and heading higher. Another quick look on the weekly. We do have a bearish candle last week, in previous 2 weeks, I should say, but the overall idea is to the upside, so not losing track of the bigger picture. Pound New Zealand, let's move to that one now. So here we are, Pound New Zealand, clearly bullish, 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 bullish. And the next reference point I would look for is the high of the previous month. So we have that continued bullishness. Let's have a look on the weekly. We're having the pullback here, and as you can see, we have this gap in the price. We have this low to reference as the invalidation, large gap in the candles here, and this may be that pullback. And as you can see, there's a bit of a zone here that we can be interested. Let me pull a fib again. So here's the low to the high, and we are below the halfway mark, so we are now in the cheap area. Let's see if we get a reversal here, and the high probability scenario would be either, if you want to get a really good price, would be some kind of reversal down here and to go higher. However, we can have a safer, let's say, entry or a safer high probability idea when we get the impulse. If we get that fast impulsive move up with big bullish candles, then that break higher and then pull back on that pullback once we've created this low would be the entry idea or the high probability scenario to watch out for. I would look to break this high possibly, or if we create another swing high in the week, then we may have another swing somewhere down here. And this would be our invalidation point. So this is the reference, and this is the idea for the Pound New Zealand. We also have weakness in the New Zealand overall, and we also chose the New Zealand dollar, so bear that in mind. Again, putting two together. If you're trading both, then do bear in mind that both of them, we are going to be effectively, what we're saying is we are weak and bearish on New Zealand. So if both of them, if that happens to be wrong, then we will be caught out if we have entered both New Zealand dollar and pound New Zealand. Right, moving on swiftly to the next one, and finally we have oil once again. This is the picture on oil. As you can see, bullish months, bullish, 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 continuing trend, so quite clearly to the upside. And this is what we drew out last week, and that did not happen. Instead, we went higher. Here was that invalidation point. So now what the market is telling us, we go with the flow, is telling us that it wants to head higher at the moment. So with that in mind, here would be the next reference point of a high, and then the next reference point after that will be here. We can delete that, we can delete this, we can delete this. Let's have a look on the daily, see what's going on. So we did not create that reversal to the downside. We went higher, so let's just remove all of these now. And here's that invalidation. Quick look on the weekly again. So here's that low of the previous week. Let's mark it out. It is, where was it? Yeah, it's this low here. So that becomes a new invalidation point. And as you can see, we have a bit of a level right here. So what does that indicate? Well, we're in an expensive price. Therefore, we want to get a cheaper price, and therefore we want to see a retracement and some kind of reversal to continue going higher. This would be the idea. Really want to see a better price, and if we break back down below this low, this will be the invalidation, and then we're going to head lower. So this is the idea on oil. It's showing us signs of bullishness, broke this high, and now this high is broken. This could be the swing, the NFP swing, and it turned out that this was the price point where we retraced to, and now I'm gonna be using this low as a reference point. Yeah, don't want to be jumping in on being late. That's a novice type of entry. We do want to see a better price. This is very clearly bullish. No chasing the market. Let it come to you. So there's a clear daily picture. Come back to weekly once again. Here we are, bullishness. Oops. Bullish candle after NFP. Weak, and we closed above the swing. That's what we've got for this week on oil. So that is all for the week. And we're coming back to the dollar index. Thank you guys for watching. Do remember, click the subscribe button if you are seeing this video for the first time, and welcome if you are new here. And there will be another update in a couple of days, and then another one later on in the week on Tuesday for another technical update. I'll update you on how the market is developing and where the next possible opportunity lies if it appears. But we'll analyze and we'll see what happens in the time. But do bear in mind the calendar. Have a look on the website for the latest updates and real-time news. And do subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, guys, thank you very much for watching. I'm Dima again, and I'll see you on the next video in a few days later in the week. Okay, bye for now.